perfect timing. We're wrapping up High Road Leadership in this incredible chapter about desiring the best for others. A lot of things in here, definitely right in my wheelhouse. I loved seeing one of my mentors quoted in the content. And more importantly, love seeing maybe a perspective shifted a little bit. And with that being said, I always want to hear from you guys first. What did you guys pull out of this content that we can elaborate on?
I have to say, I can't cite you a specific page, but there's definitely a shift in my ground of being. I think I mentioned it the other day. The way I'm treating with people, the way I'm being with people, it's like an invitation for them to express themselves and let me know what's special for them now. And it's amazing how they melt.
Well, the interesting part of everything you said was kind of throughout the content, because everything you said was all about them.
Yeah.
That's the focus now. That's high road leadership. And again, tied up in this last chapter, desiring the best for others. You can't desire the best for others until you make them a priority first. So you are already leaning into this material. It's awesome to see, Dorothy. Thank you. What else you guys have?
I would like to share a story. A wonderful man is being my client for 20 years. And was from a refugee from Hong Kong to USA. And he never give up, continue get his degree and working on that. So he was IBM engineering. He creates so many things for IBM, become very, very famous. And then he get on to go his PhD. And he was UT professor of teaching computer science. And he has helping over probably thousands some students earn a lot of high recognition and become a major player of our high-tech industrial. And this man continue writing documents and everything. And life come to a challenge for him. His wife got the Parkinson. And now his wife already 20 years in Pakistan. Usually Parkinson disease, 15 years. That's it, end of your life. But 20 years. Today, I'm invite them to eat lunch because I feel he is truly the hero, the super leader, because he has unconditional love and support his wife. His wife whole body is already leaning to the other side. He never complained. Every time I go to see him, he never complained. He always say, I always ask him, how's your wife? He said, yeah, better, going better. I'm doing everything to support her. I mean, just totally unconditional. And his students came to see him. A lot of them are very successful. And he is totally based on how can I serve? How can I serve in this lifetime? It's a short life, but what can I do to serve? So he is retired at age 88 as a UT professor. Yep. And today he's still serving his wife. His wife is 10 years younger than him, but he is going out of his way and never complain, but just giving his wife a lot of happiness, a last hope. So I want to say,
think about this with everybody he's touched and how he stepped into that high road leadership. In fact, I want to read into the room from page 206 of what we really need in this world. We need leaders who add value to people. Yes. And the organizations they lead, who work for the benefit of others and not just for their own personal gain. Leaders who inspire and motivate, who not intimidate and manipulate, who live with people to know their problems in order to solve them, and who follow a moral compass that points in the right directions regardless of the trends. I mean, that's a great example of someone who, a lot of different ways he could have gone had he been selfish in all of these steps, yet he always made it about others. What else do you guys have? Jalissa, I see it go hot. What do you got?
Hi. Yeah, I mean, the book this chapter have a lot of things that I underlined, but most of us bringing, when in page 208, bringing out their best. Number 2 will say change your words. The paragraph that say the more you articulate something you believe, the stronger it becomes. Second, it starts to create the shift from ideas to action. And third, it begins the positive impact people. Words have power. I really, that catch me a lot. I mean, it's something that I practice most of the time. My husband helped me with that, and it's very powerful.
Yeah, it's why I'm always coaching you guys and telling you that the words that you use automatically are your natural programming. That's your state. That's how you're showing up in the world. And so it allows us as coaches to listen and help adjust those. On top of that, though, the words you intentionally use for yourself are how you reprogram yourself. Now, here's where we get a plus it that I normally don't add into the conversation. The words you use intentionally for others are also helping them either grow or causing them harm and helping them die. There's only the two options. So we get to be, as he says here on page 209, a little more intentional about our language and really having a language of care, of priority, of concern, of love, and of helping those people move in a direction that truly is going to better their lives and the lives of their family. What else you guys have?
I got something. So one thing that I always look at when we're reading these books is what can I apply immediately? And otherwise I'm just reading books and I'm not getting better. And the big thing that I'm taking from this is stop keeping score and be a mature leader. Stop being like immature about your decisions because you're hung up on something. Move on, be grateful, and come from contribution for all. So, you may not have had the perfect identity or the perfect leadership in the past, a better leader moving forward. So that's the thing that I'm immediately, and I've been doing this, I've been getting better, but I'm going to continue to implement that immediately after reading this. I want to know what else people are actually wanting to implement, because stop reading books and just saying that you read a book. Start implementing and doing something. So that's my challenge to everybody.
Well, I will tell you, Ryan, even in the reading, you can't help but internally make changes. Things are happening internally just by doing it. By the way, the action they might be taking is reading every day to become a reader, which transforms your life. And I love also that you're plussing it. What other thing can we take out? Because on 210, he talks about taking action. And you've actually got to take action. So you're on point with his step 3, change your actions, because his goal is to move people from positive thinking to positive actions. And so great that you're taking these positive nuggets and implementing. And I love the challenge to everybody here to do that at a high level. In fact, I want to share with you guys one that hit me right between the eyes on that I'm taking action on, because I, for years, have told all of you and coached and trained and teach that need equals lack. that need means something missing, and we don't want to be in a state of lack. So we're going to remove that language of need. And right here in step 3 of his model, using the word need when it comes to other people is obscenely powerful. I need you. It's something he learned time and time again in his life, that it truly is inspiring. It truly allows people to know how much they matter. And saying you need the talent, skills, participation, affection, care, collaboration of anyone, especially someone you lead, is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it shows the desire for collaboration and the value that you place on other people. So you guys are going to hear a lot more of that, because the people in this room, whether you know it or not, man, I need you guys. Even if there's been a time I've been tough in my coaching and drawn a line in the sand with you, it's because I care and I truly need you. And what a perfect time for this to be showing up, when there's a new face in the space that this message is for. So don't think I don't see you, Carrie. And I'm excited you're here. And you just keep leaning in. Love that you have made that choice, my dear. Appreciate you. What else, guys, has touched you from the content of chapter 12, Desiring the Best for Others? Go, Doug.
Oh, my mic's on. Okay. Well, I think it's, I think the powerful place that it puts all of us is kind of what this is leading to. There's simply not enough leaders encouraging people and letting them know how absolutely extraordinary each one of us are. Our world is very, very much critical and debasing. And if we have people like, if we become the people that are encouraging, that are loving, that are kind, that are, what do you call that? Where you look beyond where a person is, of where their potential is, and live in that space, you already are a very, very unusual person. And you're changing the world around us. So that's what we're doing here. That's what we're training to be, is to be the new standard, really the newer standard. He's calling it the higher road, and there's 2 other roads you can take. So I don't think there's a third of us on the higher road, though. We need to do some recruiting. So
let's
thanks,
lean
Russ, for all
into
you're doing
Doug.
to help all of us.
I got a question for that.
Hold on one sec. Let's lean into, Doug, the one section that you absolutely are touching in here, number 2, the concept of I believe in you. And here's what I've loved. I've heard this before from another one of my leaders, how John does this. The way I do this with people is what I call putting a 10 on their head, right on their forehead. I see everyone as a 10 out of 10. I look for their potential and let them know I believe that they can reach it. I let them know that they are a 10 in my eyes, and only they have the power to take that 10 off. If you look for the best in others, tell them you believe in them, and then follow through supporting them with further encouragement, you will be amazed by how most people rise to meet your positive expectations. Now, notice he didn't say everyone. Not everyone will. And yet you as a leader get to look at the successes and stay on that path as a high road leader, rather than focusing on where people fell short. You get to continually look for what's right versus what's wrong. Ryan, you had something else, brother.
in terms of, like,
Judy, is he breaking up for you? So Ryan, you've just got one thing you do have is a bad cell connection right now. And that happens to all of us. So Judy,
oh,
what do you got?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in here. I think the encouraging words is such a huge thing. And I think we've talked before about sending notes, personal notes to people and being encouraging to them. I think that's Mary Kay was brought up in this chapter, and she did that every day, 5 to 10 people. She hand wrote a note. But I recently, since being encouraged to do videos, had met someone who made a big impact on me. And I did a video to her message, and she videoed me back in tears. And so it is really true that we're not hearing positive things out there in the world in general. So we totally stand out when we do that with somebody. And that's what he's talking about. And it makes a huge impact.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't wait to do some of that today and tomorrow and really pour into folks and invite them to kick into here on Monday for the next level of what we have going. Just keep loving on people and let them know it. Don't just do it from a distance, right, Judy?
Correct.
Awesome. All right. Who else wants to jump into the conversation?
I'm appreciating the greatest compliment that was ever paid to me was when someone asked me what I thought and listened to my answer. Henry David Thoreau. It's been a big impact. This this last week, I've been with my family because my mother has been really ill, had a stroke, and seems to be passing. And yet, the ability for the four of us to sit around the table and actually have a conversation, a family conversation about what was in best interest, being able to hear everybody. And even if somebody got up in their challenge and upset about something, the conversation still stayed level and they could come back to the table, and that conversation continued. And a week later, we're still in an excellent place of conversation, even though there's things we may or may not agree on. Just being able to have that conversation, because listening at a better level, and even for me, listening at a much better level, allowed me to make a space for some of the others, not somebody having to be right. And this whole process has given us an ability to hear each other better, even over the week, over the distance. And so that is standing out to me today. It was really, it's really quite a privilege to be sitting around the table with my brothers and sisters and having this quality of conversation.
It is pretty awesome to be able to do that, especially at this point in your world. It's something, I'm ruminating on and have been today as we're planning for trip. And so this is a good point to tell you guys, next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm really looking at all of you to step up as a high road leader. I will probably not be here with you guys as I will be on family vacation. And so if everybody's asleep, I'll sneak in. And if people are up, I'm going to be hanging with them. That's how I live, is God, family, business, and I truly live it. That being said, man, this could be the last time, right, Jeanette, that the five of us, because I got 3 adult kids, all living big lives, doing other stuff. You never know. So the other piece we can bring in here, absolutely, that high road leaders have, is gratitude versus judgment. They're in a state of gratitude. They're in a state of loving what's coming at them rather than judging and looking for what's wrong. And you'll definitely hear it in their voice and in their conversations. If they're working on being a high road leader and you start sniveling, they're going to catch you. They're going to ask questions, which means you guys are going to be asking more questions of people, getting them thinking about what's right rather than what's wrong, getting them into a state of gratitude, because their worst day, I promise you, is somebody else's best day. You guys in this room, your worst day, this 30 minutes is somebody else's best day. And so I love that you guys are here sharing with me. Don, I've seen your hand going back and forth. Have you wanted to pop in here a little bit, brother?
Oh, I got a bunch. This chapter was, I thought, I think it's hysterical. The judgment that I made around this book to start with, and that I didn't even really want to read it. Now it's become one of my faves. So I'll say that. But I looked at this and I thought, I know there's people in here that are very much in the recruiting style of business, and there's others that are here as guests that, I'm just going to say that the leadership piece is not about any particular business model. It's about, we're with people all the time. We are influencing and being influenced by and around people, and we're showing up as leaders in community and in ways, and no one succeeds alone. We know that part. We know that no one is an island that succeeds alone. So it's always going to be with people and around people. And, I jokingly say, business is awesome except for all these people, but that's because the victim mentality, is so pervasive that sometimes it gets to be not fun. But I was looking at this last night and reading through it and thinking there's some real key pieces that, at a minimum, clearly there's so many things that we could add into our life, but, we change our thinking and we go from desiring the best for ourselves, that low road leadership, the it's all about me, to desiring the best for others. So are we really coming from that place? Do I really want to put somebody into an opportunity for betterment? Do I really want something for them? Or am I looking out for myself? Am I really looking at a place for myself? I don't care if that's a job we're, interviewing somebody for, or we're bringing somebody into, or if it's changing companies and becoming part of something that we're building. It could be any of those things. And then, of course, I jump across to change your actions. And that's all ultimately coming from the desiring for the best for others. And how do I help them? How do I have a heart to help people and to add value to them? That makes me a better person, by the way. But it's also, it really becomes critical that I'm helping them become the best version of them. I love what you said, Russ, about I believe in you. I'm sorry, you said I need you. I went to I believe in you. Most people don't have a cheerleader. And we've said jokingly and in fun, how do we know when people need encouragement? I know you can all recite it if you've been around for any length of time. They're breathing, they're alive. I believe in you. You're important, and I believe in you. I see you as more than maybe you see for yourself. And right now, borrow my belief in you. I believe in you. Powerful words. And then I need you. I love the way he said it. And Russ, you made a distinction there, because the need coming from a place of scarcity and all of that. But I need for you to be the best person you can be. And there's a phrase that Jim Rohn said many years ago, and he said, the old way is, I'll take care of you if you take care of me. Like a tit for a tat, a trade-off. I'll take care of you if you take care of me, with expectation. How about I'll take care of me for you if you take care of you for me, and not even if, and you take care of you for me. Let's show up as being the best people we can be for each other. The way that we all get better is when we show up as better and hold that expectation for others. The way that we're models for people is that we are models through how we're living, not just what we're saying, but how we're living. That, and I said to a group last week, speaking here in Dallas, you are being seen, you are being watched, whether you know it or not. You are a model for people. You're either giving them permission to flail and fail and be mediocre, even victims, or you're showing them that that's not okay. You're leading a life that they go, wow, I want to be like that. So that was kind of what I took away from this last night. I thought this was a fabulous ending to a great book.
You know, the interesting part for me on this, Don, from what you've chatted about, is the path it's taken you on from judgment, I don't really want to read this thing, to one of my favorites, to gratitude, to really leaning into this leadership. And so a couple quick conversations I want you and I to have as this high road leadership. And this is for everybody. We're just having this conversation to pour into you all. In desiring the best for others, what are the limits on that? Is it only a select group of others? Or is it truly everybody?
Well, I mean, do I act this way all the time? What I would say is it's for everybody. It's that, I just came out of Walmart. I know I made her life better. The gal that was not having a good day, because, I'm going to leave her in a better place. Right. I mean, that's not atypical for me. That's pretty typical. But, for me, I will say that mostly it's how I operate. Do I believe that I always operate that way? Do I shoot myself in the foot and get into judgment from time to time? Oh yeah. Do I live the high road leadership all the time? No. It is my intention, and it is certainly the way I lead most of my life. So I think for me, the point is it's for everybody, Russ. We can lift everybody. We can lift the man or the woman who's homeless and help them in ways that are just touching their lives in the simplest way. It's not the $5 we give them or the $100 we give them or the 25 cents we give them. It's not that. It's acknowledging them as people, seeing them. There's a way we can touch anybody and everybody that's within our reach. And when we come from a place of service and a place of giving, and what do they need and what do I have that can help them? And a smile is the easiest one. Love is an easy one. We don't diminish ourselves by doing it. So I'm not sure where you were going with that, but that was my response.
Well, here's where I was going with it, and then we're going to wrap up, talk about Monday real quick. So there was, over the last 3 weeks of reading this, somebody in my world that maybe I had some judgment on, maybe I transgressed, maybe I didn't treat as well I should have. And so picked up the phone and had that conversation and owned it and asked for forgiveness. Please forgive me is a very powerful statement as well, because it puts 100% of the power in their hands, even if they didn't know that you had judgment or anything around them. And so I'm going to challenge all of you. Maybe somebody came to mind from reading this content that you've got some judgment around, that you pick up the phone and have the call, that you make the conversation happen, you clear the air.